At VIBRA Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at VIBRA Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. VIBRA Finance. We are the future of crypto.
And we are live. What's up, everybody? Back for another episode. We got a special guest today, Facing Reality.
What up, brother? Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. It's a long time.
Well overdue.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Good to have you here, man. Hopefully it's the first of many to come. I'm
down.
Yes, sir.
Good being here. So
yeah. I mean, every time I jinx these bubbles. Every time I come on, I think there's been one day in the last about 2 months where there's been green bubbles, but it's just never-ending bloodbath. But
we're getting there.
Exactly. You gotta get through the blood to see the promised land.
Nothing but opportunities.
Exactly. Richard is so right when the 3 L's to getting wrecked: ladies, liquor, and leverage.
Yep. Well, I don't do liquor. I don't do leverage. Married for how long now? Oops. 17 years.
There you go. I mean, you just see how bad when these companies get over leverage, what happens, and the cascade effect from Genesis now to Gemini to it just spreads everywhere.
Yeah. The correlated thing is the banks. Every time they are, or when legacy finance, or as soon as they start mingling, things go down the drain. It's not a crypto problem.
100%. It's a people problem.
Yeah.
And it's funny that the Wall Street, they think they're smarter than everybody. They know what they're doing, and they all get wrecked just like everyone when they first get in. Welcome to our world.
Yep.
What's up, Mobius? Thank you for stopping in.
What up? What up?
Yeah, so look at the Bitcoin price here. We were just talking about it for a little bit before we jumped on here, and we looks like we were starting to kind of trend up for the last couple months here, but we were doing the same thing from kind of September to November, and then bam, right off a cliff. So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking we're gonna meet another cliff for sure. Yeah. How deep will it go? Nobody knows. It usually gets into a cascading event, but doesn't have to be. I mean, if everybody's waiting for it, usually doesn't happen. So yeah, I think
it's a good point. Is when it's the same thing in the bull market, is when everyone was expecting Bitcoin to go to 100K, 200K, 300K. The opposite happens.
Yep.
And the same thing here. I feel like when everybody is this bearish, it's almost like, all right, something doesn't feel right.
Do you think they're gonna be the same way in the next bull run? Bitcoin gonna go to 300, 400, 500,000, or do you think they probably learned that we do have diminishing returns and that we might be lucky if we see 200K Bitcoin?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a 200K Bitcoin for a while. I think if anything, Ethereum will really, really flip Bitcoin and solidify itself as number one next bull run. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the way, if Gary Gensler gets his wish and somehow gets into the Treasury Department and gets promoted through all this mess and really tries to put a clamp on crypto, I think it could set us back a while, but inevitably we'll definitely get there, I think. But the next year or two, this is so critical for just development, for getting the infrastructure for this correct, and letting technology like this slip outside the United States and get around the world. I think that they're starting to realize they can't let that happen.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was looking at some think about what to talk about today, and I was looking back at some of the news articles from the last bull run in 2019 and 2020.
Oh boy.
And we were there, and we were kind of we were noobish.
I was a complete noob for what I was doing. I thought it was literally describing the cheat sheet. I thought I was a freaking genius in 17 and 18. Damn. That turned out to be completely different. But you live and you learn. And now we did a proper second one, or actually your first one. Now we learned a lot. This next one, yeah, it's gonna be even better and better and better.
Yeah. And it's funny that, once you experience an entire cycle, we saw 2017, 18. I was in Chainlink. I kind of saw the tail end of it. But after, seeing your bag 5x and then tumble back down to zero, you don't really care that much. And, it was whatever. But then once you started paying attention more, and you start seeing the same headlines like this right here. Economists think a U.S. recession will strike by the end of 2021. 2020 will be worse than 2008. And it's just, and how will cryptocurrencies fare in a recession? And these guys, and just the fear is so funny. And then you see the same thing. Recession drumbeat gets louder as more U.S. CEOs strike mellow note for 2023. A U.S. recession is coming. Here's 5 reasons why. It's like, well, you could have just taken the same article from 2019 and just switched the dates and put it out.
There's a big difference, though, I think. Because back then, you're always hedging on where do you put your money. But since 2008, all we've seen is an uptrend. Everything went up. If everything now starts dropping, like the house market, the banks again, where do you hedge your money? Is it going to be precious metals? That's one. It's not really something you gain on, but it's an hedge. You can preserve your money. I think crypto is going to be the thing that it's going to be the hedge, because everything around it is already falling. Where are they going to put their money? I think crypto is going to shine in this next one.
Yep, I agree, man, because what you just said, metals are great. And what happens if things keep going the way they are right now, all these exchanges, the premiums are going to be outrageous. It's already about $100 for an ounce of gold. So, and if people, if there's a squeeze on gold and silver and those premiums go up, 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 that's just more reason to get into crypto.
Yeah.
And the longer, I think, the longer that Bitcoin can survive, even though the code, we know it's terrible, the technology is not there, it's failed as payments, but it can be digital gold. It can be a great store of value, a hedge against inflation, and it's much easier to access than gold and metals and real estate, and even like Pokemon cards and stuff that I collect. They're small and they're tangible, but they're not easy to sell. It takes time.
Yeah, crypto is going to be a really volatile market in the upcoming years.
Yeah.
Because regulation will come in, more money will be available, it will be more trusted. You're going to see a lot of volatility in the upcoming years, but it will solidify quick, I think. because as soon as you reach a certain point of liquidity or economic energy, it slows down or stables, more like a stock market. That's what I believe.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what's happening right over here is I think the banks obviously, I think they tried to build their own blockchains and they failed. They saw what Ripple was doing and they were like, "Oh, whatever, that's great. We'll just build our own stuff." And they realized that
Yeah.
this is not easy what they're doing. So now it didn't work. I mean, yes, they had JP Morgan and Onyx and Quorum, but are they gonna actually are other companies gonna wanna adopt JP Morgan's blockchain? I don't think so. You know, I think all these companies they could have their own blockchains and their own servers, but they're gonna have to all be interoperable with each other. That's gonna be the
For
future.
sure.
Who can tie in all the blockchains that these banks are working on? Because they need to be private. They can't be the public can't see everything that's going on. So there has to be some kind of a privacy wall in place.
Yeah, it's going to be a side-by-side system.
Yeah.
It's not going to be one system, so you got to need a bridge somewhere. So
Yep. So that's either the banks are going to have their own private ledgers where they all transact on where it has nothing to do with our public bank accounts.
true. But
And
if one sector becomes big enough, we don't really need bridges. We could literally go to peer-to-peer payments.
yeah,
If our system is just as big as theirs, why do we need their system if we can just use our own?
Yeah, I agree. And that bridges are where all the risk is right now. You know, that's
Exactly.
once we can get past to layer 0, inevitably where we're going, where everything's interoperable, the bridges that's where all the hacks, that's where all the nightmares happen. So once we can get past that and everything is on the same level, whether it's layer 2, layer 0, wherever it is, interoperability is the key. And I think right now they're just setting this up to hand over the banks access to crypto. Is the exchanges, FTX, it's now the media is painting it out to be not really a crypto problem, but a human problem. And this is now a way to, I think, say, look, banks have been around forever. They know how to hold your money. They know what they're doing. Let them hold crypto for you. And now I think this is a perfect example to hand Voyager over to Chase Bank, to hand over Celsius to Bank of America, to hand over FTX to Fidelity. And that's what there's their walk right into crypto, no risk. And now they're custodians who we all trust.
Yeah. The trust system. Luckily, we have a trustless system. And I would like to keep it that way.
I know. It's nice to see, though, that the truth is coming out. What Richard has been preaching for years now. Not your keys, not your crypto. You know, take your stuff off these exchanges. I mean, it's now, you know, his words are holding the test of time. And it's nice to see him getting the recognition and the credit for when he was the only one saying this in the bull run.
Yeah. And specific, he named them all by name years before it happened. It's not he didn't talk in general. No, he literally went down the list telling everybody who is at risk. Thank you, Richard Hart.
Yep, legend. And I hope that Tom Emmer here, he's a congressman in Minnesota, and he wants to open up an investigation on Gary Gensler, a private investigation. And he's calling out the SEC and demanding that Gary Gensler comes and testifies in front of Congress about his approach to regulating crypto. Emmer says the SEC had failed to gather information needed from crypto companies that would have prevented disasters like the $32 billion collapse of FTX. We now know Gensler's crypto information gathering efforts were ineffective. And he just basically says that, you know, you sued Kim Kardashian. Meanwhile, you let Luna, Celsius, Voyager, and FTX all slip under your
Mm-hmm.
under your hands there. So it's interesting to see that you're actually getting congressmen calling them out, and people want to see the right thing done. And I want to see him put in front of Congress and actually hit with real questions, not these little, the puff pieces and the
Yeah.
popping them up and, oh, we're doing this because it's so risky. We want to save the average American. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I want to see them grilled about what did you talk to FTX about? How much money did he give you? Like real hard questions.
yeah, when
You
do
know,
we ever see any ramifications or consequences?
never.
These people can do whatever they want and no ramification whatsoever.
None.
Tap on the back and I'll do business with you another time. I mean, what kind of world are we living in?
It's the fact that it's so transparent now. It's so right in front of your face. The corruption and how deep it goes. If you
Yeah.
just spend 10 minutes, anyone can look into it and be like, "This is really bad."
Yeah.
But that's why we need 2023 to come and Pulse to launch, and we can have our own ecosystem where we can do our own thing, not be bothered, not be tied down by insane fees. Oh no, Bored Apes are minting this weekend. You can't use Ethereum.
Yep.
Lots of awesome projects that are being built. We're gonna have, I think, an even bigger, stronger community than the Hex community.
Yes. Yeah, you talked previously about how Ethereum is gonna outperform in the next run, what we all believe. I want to shout out Access for Life. He has a really good video on it. I encourage everybody to watch it.
Definitely. And we were talking earlier. When do you think
Yeah,
that Pulse is
Pulsechain is gonna be. Yep.
This was a good tweet. I don't know where
Could you imagine?
Yeah. This is it right here. Uniswap V3's core code base is set to become open source April 1st, according to the exchange's license. April Fools will be a great day to launch Pulse and PulseX. Nobody will believe it. They think it's a joke.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be legendary.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah. What's up, Paul? Appreciate you stopping by. And Molly and Erwin Ben were in the whole crew popping by. We got Molly. They've been busy as hell lately, but we got to get them in here and all jump on and do a stream with all of us.
Yeah, do a, let's say, our group OG reunion. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was interesting too, that the top dApps and Hex now, I don't know if it was in the top 10 before, but that's pretty cool to see that Hex is still holding strong in Ethereum. And then also the stakers. Traders get wrecked while stakers collect. Love that.
Oh yeah.
Context. Love that. And the t-shirt rate. I mean, if you're not staked and you're waiting, you're losing Hex every day. That was a big mistake I made, is when we first got in, is not knowing how to stake and then holding off till Staker app came out, because I didn't want to do a 5555 and waiting that 6 months. The T-share rate went up so much, cost us a lot of T-shares, and I had no clue.
Have you did the calculations?
No, and I don't want to either.
Oh, I did one for one that is coming up. It's I believe a 2.5-year stake. And if you punch in the numbers, the amount of days you now have to stake to get the same T-shares, it's not funny to watch.
Yeah. What was almost 4 years probably?
No longer.
Oh my God.
Way longer. Yeah.
And you'd think that would kind of stop the amount of stakers from growing, but it's not. I mean, look at this. This is, I mean, I don't know. That looks like, I mean, obviously this is the bull run, but I mean, in the dead of the bear market, I mean, that's almost vertical right here.
Yep.
From 95 to over 110,000. I mean, that's awesome to see. And I
DeFi
think
is taking off. And as
it
soon
is.
as people realize there's more things to DeFi, especially when you have the first principles that is coming out now, like like everybody talks about it. So yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Would be
And
nice if we get old Richard back though. I
we
think it would
will.
help.
We will. I think
Yeah.
once the market turns around, I mean, if you just look
Yeah.
across the board, there's nobody watching really crypto videos right now. I mean, the amount of engagements and just accounts that I was following throughout the bull run that would get massive likes and follows. There may be 50 likes now, 75 likes, and they were at 1,000 in the bull run.
Yeah.
So across the board, just people just are worried about other stuff, and crypto's not on their mind right now.
Can you blame them?
Not at all. I think, yeah, it's tough. If you, because a lot of people that came in at the peak of the bull run and got wrecked, and with everything going on in the macro environment, it's just
Yeah.
a combination of a lot of things, and that's kind of why that stat with the stakers is just so bullish to me, because of exactly why all of how bad the last 8, 10, 12 months have been. And to
Yeah.
see the amount of stakers steadily climbing, that's impressive to me.
Yeah, there could be somewhat of a more logical explanation for it, I think, because when the prices are low, it's probably easier for you to stake away small amounts of money instead of if we were back at all-time highs. If you put in $100 now, that would be $1,600 at all-time high. So at that prices, you would be not really that incentivized to put away that amount of capital. And now the capital isn't big, so there could be a small reason for it. At least that's what I believe.
Yeah,
Makes sense to me.
definitely. And you could, in this, I was looking at this hex vision here, and it was interesting because it shows you the yellow or the orange is the circulating set amount of hex, and this is how many stakes were open during the days, and this is going back to July of this summer. And I don't know what happened in August, but August like 10th, 12th, 13th. I mean, this was mad. I mean, 1,500 stakes. So we gotta go back and look. But this was either when Richard came to the United States or something happened around here, because this is almost 5 times the amount of the last week or so.
What's normal, yeah.
Yeah. So that was really interesting. But you know, I'm just bullish as hell. And so all time
Yep.
we have almost 150,000 total stakers, and there's right now 116,000. So it's almost 35,000 or 30,000 ended stakes.
Yeah.
Bad.
And even though the price is so much down, we're still paying what, 16 to 20x more per T-share?
$700 right now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
$60.
If we could go back in time, oh my lord,
What up, Eagle?
I would have sold my kids.
We ignored the bear market, Balva. Exactly, bro. We got it.
Yep.
Exactly. What bear market? You got to stay positive. You know how to do it,
Yeah.
bro. You're crushing it.
These are the times that we're building, and we are. I mean, the community is still growing. AC status, so much more engagement, at least at a smaller level.
This is right here. What makes me super bullish is I've never seen 6 3/4 years for the average stake length. That's the longest that I've seen it. We're at 6.66, and now we're all the way up to 6.7, 6.75, and then came back down a little bit. But That's awesome to see.
That's insane.
It is.
Because to get that average, you need a lot of long year stakes.
Yeah. Yep. He's a couple TA people calling for 0.007 to 0.008. That is right where we got in at that price, Mobius.
Yeah, our best buy was 0.00036 or 38, I believe.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, I don't know what I was watching some of Jenkins' old videos, and his TA was pretty off for his predictions in the future. But I mean, we're definitely still downtrending. I mean, yeah, we could definitely come to. I don't think we'll see sub penny personally, in my opinion, but you never know.
I don't even think we're gonna go below 2 cents, to be honest. I
I
mean, we
don't
could wig down. I mean, the amount of capital that you need to wick it that low, that's a lot. I mean, I think you can calculate it on which side was it? Fire.l, I believe. But I believe you need to dump what, 300 million, 400 million hex
Yeah.
to get it at a penny or under a penny. That's a lot of hex.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that it's not possible, but I mean, most hexagons that I know were all waiting.
Yeah.
So if everybody's waiting, what are the chances that it actually goes to that price? We saw it at that latest wick. I mean, we were literally talking live when that wick went down. And I tried to buy it. And by the time I finally got everything set up, it was already back at 2.3. So
Yeah.
it goes so quickly.
And that's all these dips are getting bought up quicker and quicker and quicker
Yeah.
and quicker. Yeah, every time we wick down, we bounce right back up quicker. Whereas before we would come down and we would kind of trend around and then pop back up. And the T shares right here, I think once we get under 10 million total T shares, that's going to be just some kind of a mental barrier that people are going to realize, oh my God, the FOMO, I think, is going to start to kick in when that happens, because we're coming at 10.5. Now we're down to almost 10.2, under 10 million T shares. Like, that's significant. I think there's a lot of mental barriers in crypto with price points and market caps. And I don't know, man, less than 10 million T shares left.
100%. Yeah.
It's a sound.
But you create new one as well. But yeah, I mean, the T share is deflationary. So
Yeah. And just the amount of hex. I mean, we're coming up to 25,254 hex per T share. That's amazing.
it's insane.
But hey, this is why we got into hex. When everybody was telling us that it was a scam, we were able to look through it, look at the math, and look on chain and look and see, okay, this OA wallet, nothing has ever moved. And we drew the conclusions that if it does move, that's the end of the project. All credibility's gone.
For sure.
And
I thought it was a scam at the beginning. I mean, we had a lot of arguments, the two of us. It was, I thought the same thing. I mean, so especially Big Payday was, if you just recently introduced to Hex and you hear the story about Big Payday coming up, where it's literally I give you one and you give me two back. Where have we seen that before? So if you have limited time, the way we have when we were introduced to Hex, just a couple of weeks or months prior to Big Payday, then But then again, we took the gamble. You convinced me to do so, and I'm forever thankful.
Hey, that's the one thing that I learned, that if you're just jumping on board with something, you're not gonna make the most money. The people that made the most that I've experienced were people that did the opposite of what everyone else was doing at the time, or was called crazy at the time.
Yep.
You know, like right now, everyone thinks the market's crashing. So people that are starting to DCA in right now are going to probably end up better off than the people that wait, and they have confirmation that the market's turned. I mean, how many X's did you lose out on not DCAing and catching around the bottom and waiting and buying the way up?
Yep, it's a lot.
It is.
There are a lot of calculations out there, even if you would done it with Bitcoin for, let's say you started buying in, I believe, 2018, did it every month, $100, you would have almost 300K in this cycle, just $100 a month.
Yep.
And that's in Bitcoin, and didn't really perform that well. So
Yeah.
imagine doing that in a project that can actually still move, or a product in this case.
Yep. I know. Dude, I was looking at Sologenics here. It's one of the ones that we follow on the XRP ledger. And it was awesome being at their party out in Vegas and having people come up to us and be like, we're undercover Hexicans. We're undercover Hexicans. And the day is going to come where that's no longer going to happen, where they're going to be like, yeah, I'm a Hexican and I'm in Solo Nation. There's like no shame in it. And it's going to be, the day is coming. And I think that Pulsechain is going to be that monkey off Richard's back. That's fine. Okay, this guy is not a scam artist. He's had 2 projects now launched that are both doing well. And people aren't going to associate Hex to Pulsechain. People that are brand new and just looking from the outside that don't dig into it, they're not ever going to tie the two together. I think that's going to be massive for the success of Pulsechain.
Yeah, and shout out to you, by the way, because now what's the word on the street? We need to engage more with other communities and bridge them over. And you were the one that was doing it from the beginning, while everybody was shitting on you for going to other communities. And you were clearly a trendsetter here. So well done, brother.
Appreciate it. It's the only way, man. It's like if someone came to me, you know, I just try to think, all right, what if someone's selling me on a project or a crypto, or if I went and talked to someone and they were just like, sell everything and just buy this. That's it.
Yeah,
Everything you have and buy this. You'd be like, you know, what are you talking about? It just doesn't, it's not logical. And when you start meeting with a lot of people that outside of crypto, just every regular day people that work 9 to 5s. You know, most people don't want to hear sell everything and put it into one bag. All your eggs in one basket is typically not the smartest move.
No, even though it can bring the biggest results, it is a degen move. So I completely agree.
And you know, with that risk comes phenomenal rewards. But a lot of people that I found too in the community, if you ask them, you know, what happens if something happened to Richard? What happens if Pulsechain never launched? What happens if Hex fails in 2 years? What's your plan B? What's your plan C? And people don't have a backup plan. So they get they realize at that point, oh shit, I'm not as well off as I thought. I'm one, you know, accident away from things not working out like I planned.
Yeah, I agree. Even though I don't really believe in diversification within a closed asset class, as say crypto, because generally they all move along together. So, but if you want to save yourself from imaginary horribles, then in my opinion, diversification is still valid. And most people just do it to have something to do. I mean, being in one coin and that's it, it's boring. It's boring as fuck.
Exactly. That's such, and that being bored, and Hex too, because all of the value is in a T-share, and that's being staked, not being able to, not having liquid coins. So exactly, you get bored, and it leads to fighting and bickering and just stuff that you don't want to see. And it's why I try so hard to get people to just, check out Saucer Swap. This is Pulse X, the same code. This is the same stuff we're going to be using that people are using the test nets. And you can actually come around here and use it on Hedera. You can get Saucer Swap for free by joining the Discord and just connecting your wallet. And then you can come around and you can use actual liquidity pools, see how they work. And it's real life, because I promise you, providing liquidity on a test net and doing it in real life with your real money is a completely different scenario. Once you drop that money in there and all of a sudden you see one side of the pool going up and the other going down, you start panicking. Or internally, you're like, what the hell's going on? I just put money in here and now all of a sudden it's starting to get lopsided. And it just gets worse and worse and worse unless you know what you're doing.
And it's probably more real as well, because it's real money that is being played with. So people will do rational things on something that is real, and will do irrational things on testnet because it's paper money. So I can do whatever I want. So yeah, it makes sense to do it on something that has actually being used in real life.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And the staking now is phenomenal on here. I mean, so it's at 19.83%. So we were talking before, my Hedera was staked on Stater Labs, and I unstaked 85% of it there, and I put it here into Saucer Swap. And it's now getting 20% versus just under around 9%. So it's over double the APY. And you're still staking from your wallet where you control your keys. So you're not giving your coins away to anybody. There's no risk involved. And it's the same thing as Hex, except you're not, not putting it out for a year, 2 years. You can stake for a day, or you can stake for, 3 years, however long you want. And you earn your rewards, and that's it. And it's fun to play with. And it like you said, just getting bored in Hex is so easy to do, being staked, that this is my way of trying to get Hex in front of new people and getting, familiar with other projects. Because inevitably in the future, we're all going to come together as one. It's inevitable. Interoperability and all of us being able to talk on the same networks or send money to, I can text you Bitcoin and it'll know where to go.
Yeah.
Or I can,
Sorry to cut you off. I need to pick up my girl from school. She just called me, so I need to go. I'll be back later.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Yeah,
gotta do it more often.
Yeah,
have a good one.
You want. See you, brother.
Thank you.
Legend Facing Reality. I'm sure you guys all in the chat know Erwin, but if you don't, go check him out on Twitter. He's an absolute legend, and he's got some knowledge that I don't have with just the earth and where we came from, allegedly. But yeah, check him out. Facing Reality, absolute legend. Multi-millionaire on testnet. We all are, Mobius, aren't we? We're multi-millionaires on the testnet, and we were millionaires last year when we were staked in paper gains. Now it all seems to be crumbling down, just like in 2019. Or sorry, this was from 2018 and then updated in 2020. So the 2020 recession is going to be worse than 2008. So be prepared, because we are in for another recession in 2023. And this one here has flash signals for the first time since 2007, according to experts. So we never know where this is going. But my opinion, the next 3 to 6 months, we're going to trend sideways, Tether collapse or Grayscale collapse, something like that. Probably be one leg down from there, down to like 13K, 12K, where Erwin was talking about. I completely agree. Another move just like we just had here. So a nice 4K dip, put us down to like 12, 13. I think we'll hover there for a month or two, see where interest rates go, and then if Tether's still looking bad, Grayscale, one of them hasn't gone down, maybe one quick wick down to 8, 10K, but I think it's off to the races after that. I really do think mid Q1 next year, we're gonna be turned, because a lot of coins that I'm looking at seem to have bottomed. A lot of coins that didn't hit their all-time highs in the last bull run seem to have bottomed, but Stellar is one that I've been keeping an eye out on. Just seeing what it's done. And I mean, look at that. 69 cents in 2018, and it hit what it is. Sorry. Can't do math. 89 and then 73. So that's extremely bullish. But looking at this chart, we could come back down to 5 cents-ish. But honestly, Stellar has so much going on with their partnerships. Starlink, Space Force, MoneyGram, USDC. I mean, they're solidifying themselves as micropayments. I mean, for you guys that don't know, the Lobster wallet right here on Stellar, when you open it up, the app says right here, deposit, cash in, cash out with MoneyGram and Visa by crypto. So they have their fiat on ramp with Circle and USDC right in the app. I believe it's, yeah, yep, it is. And it's all right there. And then MoneyGram is tied in for peer-to-peer cash, sending around the world. So every Walmart, every MoneyGram location is basically now a Lobster wallet in a sense. You can now do everything digitally. You don't have to go in and drop cash off or go on a website, none of that. You can literally download the app, load up money on your credit card, and send it to someone around the world to go pick up. And then they go to the location, scan their phone, and it's set. It's really cool. So just seeing stuff like that, real life utility, and it's happening now in front of our eyes. I just don't know when that transition happens from utility versus from speculation. We know that this last bull run, a tweet, sent the price of something up, skyrocketing up. And that can't sustain itself. I can't see tweets pumping coins in the future. It has to be utility, users, community, that driving the price. And when I see Space Force and MoneyGram, all these partnerships, it just makes me think we're so close to, I don't know, adoption, just mainstream use cases and using it without even knowing it. So Stellar is going to be, they are micropayments and peer-to-peer cash. Ripple is the on-demand liquidity and banks sending money to each other. I mean, that's how I look at it. And I am super bullish about Stellar in the future. It's I think one of my sleepers for 2023. No one's really talking about it. And also their ties with the CBDCs. That too is you can run them through Stellar. And then, Kraken now tying in with the CBDCs, issuing them. A lot to be excited about in the future. What's up, Mobius? Appreciate you stopping by. Thanksgiving was great. Made a little trip down to Charlotte, saw the family. We'll be back in Albany the 22nd for a few days. I'll reach out to you. We can hopefully we can get together and have a drink or something again. Definitely like that. But yeah, that's all we got for today. Gary Gensler is hopefully going to be in front of Congress. Would love to see that. And hopefully they broadcast it live, because I just want to see the reaction and just the tells that he gives if he's asked hard questions. What did you talk about with FTX? Did you know about Voyager? Did you know what he was doing with basically a fluff coin? It was worthless, and he was taking loans, destroying other projects. He was the reason the industry is where it is right now. Sam Bankman-Fried was the piece that brought down all the leverage. It would have happened inevitably over time, but it happened under Gary Gensler's nose while he was suing Kim Kardashian, and suing Library, and then actually bragging that it was a win for crypto. So it's just crazy to see, and it's good to see someone calling him out. $32 billion collapse went right under your nose. And it's just a shame to see. And the fact that Gary Gensler is positioning himself to make a move into the Treasury Department, it just scares me. And it's something that I do not want to see. So write your local politicians, let them know about crypto. Let them know it's important that we have corrupt people running the industry right now. And I promise you, if people start getting handwritten letters from their citizens, they'll do something about it. Politicians need something to run off of to get people's attention. They do have a good, or they do serve a purpose. And I think if the right ones would back crypto, it's something to run on. And you got to think long term, the next generation, the people that are coming up, they're so much more tech savvy than even I am. I'm in my mid 30s, and I'm just thinking the people that are in their 20s now, they are so much more tech savvy, and they're so much more they live on their phones. And I just don't see, as we progress in the future and the older generation phasing out and the kids coming in, I just don't see how we don't continue to go more digital and continue down this decentralized path that we're in. We all see that it was not a crypto problem. This was a human greed and leverage problem. And if you can get rid of that, which I think decentralization and DAOs and giving power to the people does that, I think that's extremely powerful. And it makes it clear why the banks are so scared of this and what it can do. But it also, this regulation also, I think, hands them crypto on a platter. This is the perfect way to give Fidelity Voyager, and give Bank of America Celsius, and give, whoever FTX. And now they were too risky to be ran by, whoever was run SBF, or whoever, Alex Mashinsky, whoever's running these companies. And now you have your trusted banks and your financial institutions who've been around for hundreds of years can now sell you these extremely risky assets. And it almost, the writing is on the wall for that narrative. So I could see that happening. And then I could also see Gary Gensler going on a tirade and saying they're all illegal securities and unregistered securities, and you need to be an accredited investor to own them. And I hope that doesn't happen, but you got to keep your mind open and think of all the scenarios that could play out. And if you do that and do your own research, you should be able to find investments and projects and places to park money that will thrive in the future and be able to beat this insane inflation that we're seeing. But that's all I got for today. I don't want to ramble on here for another hour or two. Saucer Swap APY is at 19.8%. So anyone, all you H barbarians out there, I just unstaked almost everything out of Stater and threw it into here because Stater is, I think, 9% right now, or 9.8%. And Sauce is 19.8. So let's see, a 9.65% on Hedera, or on Stater, and 19.8 on Saucer Swap. So I think that the price wise, they're both very similar. Sauce is about 3 cents right now, and H bar is just under 5. So they're very correlated. They're moving together. So I don't think you're going to see a H bar pump without Sauce pumping. So don't be, not financial advice, but something that I am not worried about. That extra APY of 10% will offset any little pump in H-bar's price temporarily. But that's all I got. Shout out Solo Nation. Hope everyone got their last Corium airdrop for the month. And next, I believe January next year, there's either one more airdrop or there is the vote for the rest of the coins that people did not get, trust lines that weren't set up. So it's going to be an exciting year for Solo, Corium, just the XRP ledger in general. You know, with the with Casino Coin launching their lobby, Elysian and their physicals going live. Man, it's exciting. And then Flare Networks, don't forget about that. I think January 9th is the official date. The last that I saw, we'll finally be receiving our Spark tokens. So look out for that. And we will see you on the next one. Thank you guys for tuning in.
At VIBRA Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at VIBRA Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. VIBRA Finance. We are the future of crypto.